Okay, hello, greetings 6RK4. Oh, sorry, you're no longer 6RK4. You are now AK4, right? All right. So I hope everyone is in good health. So all of you are as fit as fiddle. Are you ready for today's class? If you're ready, please type in the live chat. I am checking the chat section through my phone. Okay. I hope everyone is in good health. All right. And I would like to thank you for your cooperation. All of you submitted your work yesterday. Some of you submitted late. Okay. But still, you did your work. So good job to all of you. Okay. So based on your answers, I'm going to give you feedback today. All right. So I hope you will listen attentively and try to learn as many as you can. All right. I'm giving you the feedback. As you know, feedback is just like the gold, right? It is very important. All right. I will look at your work in the Google Classroom. Okay. Let's look at Umaira's work first. All right. Thank you, Nur Yasmin Umaira, for submitting your work. I'm so glad to receive your work here so that I can share it with your friends and your friends can also learn from you. All right, so good job. I think now we will look at part by part. All right, I will give feedback according to part by part. So let's look at part one, salutation and greeting. No problem with that. Part two, all right, part two, I would love to have more expansion. Uh, the answer that you gave here, Yasmin, it's I know you expanded and you copied from the book, but I would like you to give more expansion. All right. Um, okay. So you had something like, okay, you acknowledge your friend's situation. All right. You try to be empathetic. So that's good. The school sports day was a resounding success. All right. So I need you to elaborate more about this. The element here, the element, well, I don't know what is that called, but because that is a keyword, a resounding success is a keyword, but I want to differentiate, between the keywords and, some special words that you need to use it in your content. All right. For example, word like interesting, resounding success. All right. Was it entertaining? Because the notes here stated no, so it should be unentertaining. All right, so all these, I would call them as elements. So please read my instructions here. Highlight the elements in green, but look at what you did. All right, look at what you did. You actually highlighted everything. Okay, basically everything that are not considered as elements as well. All right, so I need you to highlight the elements. By the way, can you hear my voice? I forgot to ask that. Can you hear my voice, dear students? Can you hear me? Is that clear? All right. I hope my voice is clear. If suddenly I am out of this YouTube, I need somebody to call me. Okay, take the initiative to call me. Give me a call. Give me a ring so that I'm aware about it. Okay, because when I'm looking at this Google Classroom, I'm unaware what's happening in the StreamYard. Okay, all right. So I hope that you understand what is elements. So I need you to highlight the elements. So the elements here in green should be a resounding success. Okay, resounding means it's a great success. So when you talk about the word success, there are degrees there, a degree of success, whether it's great, all right, or it's just a success, all right. So please, all right, do not change the meaning. Okay, retain the meaning of the word. You have to retain the meaning of the word. So you can't change it to success. All right. If you don't know what is resounding, you don't know how to replace resounding with the word great, then fine, just use a resounding success. But if you know, just put a great success. That would, that would be okay. But some of you just put the word success without the adjective resounding. As adjective is actually to modify the noun, all right? Sorry, it gives quality to the noun. Okay. Um, so this one here, the third part here, the element is interesting. Okay, the element is interesting. So you can go to the Google and look for synonyms or words that are associated to interesting. It could be exhilarated, exuberant, okay, entertaining. So all these words are associated to the word interesting, right? So you can actually insert them in your content, as I have mentioned earlier. Okay, now let's look at this. What other interesting events? Okay, so these are your friends' answers. So make sure you share two events. Okay, so I think Yasmin, you gave your own idea, right? So that's good. Okay, you try it on your own instead of just copying the answers from the book. Now let's look at the fourth one. The fourth one, I put here good explanation, but actually you can expand more, all right? You can expand more. Now let's look at the fifth one. Okay, the fifth one, now your friend is asking you, I heard about cross-country run. All right, the school is planning a cross-country run. So this one, you have to use perhaps, future tense, okay, because some students still remain with past tense, where I'll show you later. So please be careful with the tenses that you want to use in letter writing or email writing. Okay, just check your tenses. I hope it's clear. Check your tenses before you send. So before you submit to me, take 5 minutes. You have 25 minutes. Perhaps you can take 20 minutes to write, to finish your work, 5 minutes to check. Check your tenses, check the words, check, the uh, words that are associated to the elements, and make sure that, you have creative stories. When you are asked to describe, you have to give creative stories. So if you have all that, then you submit to me. Okay? Now let's look at this now. When you're asked about this, tell me more about it. So when you're asked to tell more about something, normally, okay, examiners will look at when is the event. So perhaps you can give the exact date or the precise date. All right, where would it be held? Who can join? How to join? But it's not about what is cross country, because your friend is not asking you what is cross country run. So you don't have to give the definition of cross country run unless unless you are asked, okay, unless it is required by the stimulus. Okay, so I hope it's clear. So when you are asked about something, tell me more about something. So make sure that you give the date. Okay, when will the event be held? All right, date, where, that means the venue, who can join, how to join. Perhaps you can also talk about the prices. So everything about cross country, but you don't give definition because you are not asked to give a definition. Okay, now let's move on. Even this part 6, even part 6, you can actually expand, because band 5 plus students would be able to expand this part 6. Okay, so part 6 you can write a little bit longer. All right, so thank you very much, Nor Yasmin, for your answers, and I hope that your friends would learn from you. Okay, now I move on to the next one. Now, this one is done by Farah Atira. Thank you, Farah Atira, for your piece of work. All right, let's look at this. Again, your friend highlighting almost everything. But remember, I mentioned that uh, elements in green. So make sure you highlight only the elements in green, the elements like, a resounding success. So if you have any other words that are associated to a resounding success that you inserted in your content, you can highlight them. Like what I did in my video. If you can't remember, you just go back to, the video, you rewatch it, try to understand it. What did I highlight? Okay. What is called elements? All right. What is called keywords in my class? All right. In my class, because I don't know about other classes, because other classes, they may come up with different terms. Okay. Now let's look at, okay, part 3. Let's look at part 3 because I gave a lot of comments here. Okay, let's look at part 3. I hope it's clear out there. Do I need to zoom? Okay, maybe I make it a little bigger for you to see. Is it clear enough? Okay, is it clear enough, students? If it's not clear, please let me know, all right, in the chat section, because I I need to know that you are attentive, and I need to know that you are learning. Okay, clearer. Sorry, just now I forgot to zoom in for you. Okay, thank you. All right, let's look at this. Now, I heard that the tug of war between teachers and students received a lot of cheers. You don't really have to, explain lengthily about this because we don't really focus on this. Okay, what we focus here is what other interesting events. But you can talk a bit about this, the tug of war. Okay, a very interesting event of the day was march between the sports house and the uniform unit. The way they marched was very neat as they had been practicing. Okay, I just changed some of your sentence structures, all right? Okay, please use past tense when you need to describe something that had happened, all right? I always uh, advise you to use past tense. So remember, whatever that had happened, use past tense. Okay, that is why you need 5 minutes or 3 minutes to check your essay thoroughly. All right, review before you submit. Now the next one, the next activity, it's just a brief expansion from you. Therefore, I am giving you some ideas how to expand it. All right. Now, when you are describing something, you are actually, sharing stories. So you can tell stories like how you create the comics, right? Okay, remember how you create comic strips. You have to plan the stories, so you can plan the stories here. All right, who won the race, which team won? All right, and then I gave some ideas here. Unbelievably, the runner expected to finish last, accelerated his pace, and took over what? Took over the team from which house. Therefore, it was an electrifying sport. So you can see the word here, electrifying. It is associated to the word interesting, right? The element here is interesting. So please highlight the elements in green. Okay, interesting should be in green. The other keywords can be in yellow. Okay, keywords and elements. That's how I differentiate them. And I hope that you can understand after this class. All right. So remember, elements, I want it in green. As you can see here, I put it in the instructions. Elements in green. Okay. You can highlight yellow for keywords. Okay. So these are some ideas on how to expand your ideas. These are some of the ways. All right. So this is a word that is associated to the word interesting. So this is an element. You can highlight this in green. Okay. How to highlight this in green? You go to this, the ellipsis. Okay, you can choose this highlight color, green. Okay. Therefore, the word electrifying is in green. So this is an element to show that it is interesting. Okay. Now, let's move on to the next part. Part 4, okay, part 4, nothing much to say. Was it entertaining? Okay, was it entertaining? So you have to look at the stimulus. You can't say that, yes, it's very entertaining. Okay, look at the notes given here. you shall say that it is unentertaining. All right. So, okay, words that are associated to unentertaining could be disappointment. All right. So, can you look at this, your response? Only dancers in front row showed good performances. I think that, we want to focus on something that is entertaining. So, you don't have to talk about, the good performances. Okay. What is not interesting? Okay, the performance is boring. Why is it boring? Okay, and then let's move on to the next one, part 5. Can you tell me more about it? All right, for this part, I don't really understand. What do you mean each level? So therefore, I put a question mark here. Each level meaning, because I don't understand. What do you mean each level? The level for the sports? Okay, is it level? Does it mean that classes? Okay, it's not clear. So make sure that it's clear. The examiners can understand you, or the readers can understand you. Then you submit your work. Okay, now I will move on to the next piece of writing. And let's look at Lukman's essay. Okay, this one. Elements in green. Please remember that you can rewatch the video. Now let's look at this. Yeah, this is what I meant. Remember, I told you the adjective is actually to, give quality to the noun. If you just mention the word success, we don't know how success is it. Okay, so a resounding success, it's actually a great success. You can just use the word, okay, a resounding success. The school sports day was a resounding success. Okay. For this part, actually, you can expand more. Okay, expand more means it can be 4 sentences, okay, or 3 sentences. Now let's look at part 3. Okay, part 3 caught the attention of the spectators. You can't use the word guests here because I don't know whom are you referring to. Who are the guests? All right, who are the guests? All right, and then suddenly you talk about distance. I don't know what events are you referring to, but you mentioned here are the events. So what are the events? You have to give specific event. Remember, I told you that you have to give 2 interesting events. So what are the 2 interesting events? You have to be specific. You can't just say, other events. 2 interesting events. What's the first one? Give elaboration. Then you proceed to the next event. Subsequently, all right, you need to give supporting details, or you need to give elaboration. Okay. All right. I actually read till the end. I still do not understand what's the event. Okay. And then you move on to the next event. Okay. The next event, other than that, they were tally matches. Okay. What's the element here? Interesting, right? So you are listing the events without telling, how interesting is that. All right. Remember, the elements are important. I already told you that you need to put in the elements. Look for words that are associated to interesting. Then you try to insert it in your content. Okay, like what I did for some of you in your first exercise. Okay, so this is the second exercise. So I expect that you are better than the first one. Okay, I hope to see improvement. So remember, I need to see the elements in your expansion. So you don't just list. This is just a mere listing of telematches, but I don't know how interesting is it. Why is it interesting? It's not here. So make sure that you give me interesting stories. Okay. Next. All right. For the fourth part, this is part 4. Part 4, was it entertaining? All right. This is the keyword. Was it entertaining? What is it entertaining? It's asking about a cultural dance performance. So you have to highlight in yellow. A cultural dance performance. Was it entertaining? So the word entertaining should be in green because that's the element. All right. I already explained in the video, but this is the outcome that you got. So I failed in my teaching. All right. So remember, entertaining should be in green, whereas the others, the other keywords should be in yellow. Okay. And I do not know why are you highlighting this in yellow, and then the next sentence you highlighted in green. What does it mean? All right. You have to say no. It's unentertaining. Okay. So disappointing is an element to show that it is unentertaining. Make sure you highlight this word disappointing in green. Unentertaining in green. But not all the sentences in green. Okay, can you understand? I want to see specifically the elements that you are able to use, words that are associated to the elements, and you can create stories and put it in. That's the content that I want. Okay, because you are pre-university students, and I believe that you're able to do that. Okay, you need to be critical, you need to be creative. Now, when we want to talk about something that is unentertaining, please do not change the focus. Don't say that you're amazed with their costumes. That is off tangent. When it's off tangent, you're not fulfilling the task. So bear in mind, okay, task fulfillment, it's actually 30. If you want to get higher marks, remember, read the stimulus carefully, analyze, and answer accordingly. So you shouldn't say that you are amazed with their costumes, which is wrong. Okay, and this will definitely pull down your marks. So remember, it's very important. Now, next, part 5. Okay, part 5 is all right. I think you did quite well for part 5. Okay, and for part 6, if you want to get pen 5 or 5 plus, you can expand more. Okay, I move on to the next feedback. Now let's look at the next feedback for Kok Xiao Wei. Okay, the next feedback for Kok Xiao Wei. Thank you, Xiao Wei, for sending in your work. Okay, let's look at part 2. I will skip part 1 because part 1 is very easy. It's just salutation or greeting. Now, how was the school sports day? Okay, the school sports day was a resounding success or a very great success. Okay, it's not a very well. Very well must have a noun, right? So that's why I delete that. And then when you read this, okay, the response, our team, which is Blue House, emerged as the champion, and the teacher gave some gifts to all members of Blue House, our team. Oh, okay, sorry, I didn't read that. All right, I'll bring it to you on Wednesday. Wednesday, perhaps you can expand a little bit more Wednesday when your friend is fit to come to class. Okay, next, part 3. Let's look at part 3. I do not know why you highlighted this extremely unexpected, because there is no element for the stimulus here. There is no element that is required. All right, there is no element like interesting or boring or beautiful. I can't find the elements here. Okay, perhaps if you want to say that, cheers, okay, maybe cheers can be the element, but we are not focusing much on this. If you want to say, cheers as element, then you have to give the elements here, cheers. Okay? The spectators were cheering loudly when they watched tug of war between the teachers and students. All right? So make sure you know what is element. Choose the element correctly. All right. Interesting. So here, interesting is the element. So interesting in green. Okay. This content is not included in the element mentioned. So read the stimulus carefully. Okay. Whatever is it, whatever your answers are, just look at the stimulus. Are you answering the question or you're not answering the question? Okay. Now I move on to the next event that you mentioned here, which I think, it's your effort to come up with uh, an event of your own instead of copying from the book. Okay, good job. All right, Kok Xiao Wei. But then I need you to elaborate. You need expansion for a second event as well. Okay, don't just explain or give a lengthy elaboration for the first event. Okay, and then suddenly the next event you gave a very short explanation or a very brief explanation. Okay, that's not right. Okay, both events are equally important. All right, so make sure you give expansion for both, not only for one. Okay, now let's look at number 4, part 4 here. I was extremely eager for the cultural dance that will be performed. It is not future tense, my dear, because this is what had happened. Okay, this is what had happened. Because you can see here, I also heard that there was. So when you look at this, was, clearly it shows that it is something that had happened. So when it is something that had happened, you can't use future tense. So for this case, you're using future tense as if, the dance society will perform the cultural dance later. So which is wrong. Okay. I will put here. I'm using capital letters so that you can take note, and it's very catchy if I use capital letters. Okay, that's my intention. So it is not a connotation of repression. Okay, it's not a connotation that I'm angry or connotation of repression. I hope that you understand. This is just to catch your attention, that you know that you have to check your tenses. Okay, that's why I'm using capital letters, which is easier. Okay. All right. This one. So you have to say that it was unentertaining. So the element is not here. Instead of answering the question, you are not. All right. This is off tangent. This is totally off tangent. Okay. So I put it here. Oops. This is totally off tangent. Therefore, you get low marks for your task fulfillment. Okay. I move on to the next part, part 5. Yeah, part 5. Now, part 5, I heard too that the school is planning. So you can see here that this is not past tense, right? Is planning a cross country run. So this is not past tense. So you can't use past tense here, dear. All right. Kok Xiao Wei. Later, make sure you change. All right. Please make corrections. Okay. I need you to make corrections. And remember not to erase my comments. Okay, please go to Google and look for the synonyms of the elements like interesting and entertaining. Okay, I believe that you'll get insurmountable list of words that are associated to the elements. All right. You just need to be independent. Okay. Now, okay, planning across country. This program is open to all students, all right? So you can elaborate more if you want. Okay, thank you, Xiao Wei. So I'll move on to the next one. So I'll give you feedback, some feedback here, and I hope that you can do well in your next exercise, because the next exercise you have to do practice. Wait, let me check the book. Okay, you have this book here. I will let you try the next exercise, okay, from this book. So I hope that you're listening to me. You grasp everything that you can. Oh my God. Okay, let's look at this one. Oh, all right. So this is good, Tayalini. This is from Tayalini. Good job, Tayalini. So you highlighted all the elements. Okay, you highlighted all the elements. So interesting. Yeah, this is the word interesting that you need. So this one, for this is about tug of war, right? So it shall not be under this question. What other interesting events? Okay. So what did you? That was enjoyable. Wait, let me read. Enjoyed by everyone because both teachers. Okay, yes. So you can say that it's interesting. Okay, people cheer loudly. Okay. At first, one of the interesting. Oh, okay. So you start from here. One of the interesting events was the relay race. All right, good. All of us thought Yellow House would win. Suddenly, in the last stage, the Yellow House runner fell down. Okay. All right. So very good. I think you're able to grasp what I actually taught you in the class. Good job, Tayalini. Okay, I will check your work and send you my comments. All right. Great job. So I think everyone has improved. Okay, but Tayalini, you improved tremendously. Good job. So I give you an applause. Students, please write your comments, all right, in the chat section. If you have questions, please ask now because I'm reading your comments. Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions here, dear students? Any questions, dear students? Okay, let's look at your holiday work as well, because I want to share some comments here. Okay, some of you resubmitted. Okay, good job. Let me see. I forgot which one. No questions? All right, Farah Atira. Any questions out there? I hope I can clear your doubts. So now this is the second practice. I hope you can do better. I'll give you more practices. So hopefully we can finish all the practices here in the book. Okay, so after this class, can you try 2 practices and submit by today? Because one practice, it takes 25 minutes, right? So make sure you only take 25 minutes. Are you okay? Can you do 2 practices today? Hello, can or cannot? Please let me know in the chat. Can you do 2 practices today, dear? Okay, can you please do 2 practices, dear students? Can, Okay, good. Lukman, you're so positive. But then you retract your message. Okay, good. So after this class, I need you to do 2 practices. Please head to Google Classroom after the class. All right, so this is the last feedback that I'm going to tell you. Now, just remember when you're asked to describe, Okay, shall not describe how to play, what is that, okay, the definition of the game. No, you are asked to give a story of what had happened. Just remember that you need to give a story what had happened. Is that clear? So don't give me the definitions, don't give me how to play. That is not answering the question. So it is based on the stimulus. Based on the stimulus here, you are asked to describe what had happened. Okay, unless you are asked to give definition. For example, if let's say, in the stimulus, it asks like, what is plane crash? Then you define what is plane crash, how to play plane crash. Is that clear? Okay. All right. So I think that's all for today. After this, please head to Google Classroom. I will give you exercises there. Those who need to make re-corrections for task 1, please do so before it's too late, because when you keep on procrastinating, all your work will be piling up. All right. At the end, you have a lot of work to do. So now, today, I'll give you 2 practices. So make sure you finish it by today, and I'll see you again. When is the next class? Let me check. All right. Next class on Thursday. Okay. When I see you face to face, we're going to do speaking, because I believe that when we do speaking on site, it would be easier compared to speaking online. Okay. So take good care of yourself, and try to learn more. All right. Uh, those who are here, okay, my students, those who are here, can you please um, type in the chat section goodbye, so that I can check your attendance? Just type goodbye. Okay, goodbye. Stay safe, everyone. I would like to see your comments, all right, in the chat section. That will be taken as attendance, dear students. All right. So I think that's all for today. Take good care of yourself. Goodbye. Goodbye, Shafika. Goodbye, Ainur Ardini. Please head over to Google Classroom. Oh, hi. Who is that? Peggy Yu. Thanks for joining my class, Peggy. I hope you learned something. But make sure that you watch the earlier class in my YouTube, so that you can follow me, because this is actually the feedback for my students' work. Okay, so I hope you watch the first video. This is the second part. Okay, thank you, Christina. Bye. I hope you watched the first video. This is the second part. All right. And you use this, all right, you use this method for practices. Okay, remember, it's only for practices, not for MUET. In MUET, you don't put all the tables, all right? Okay, thank you. Thank you. I hope you're learning too. Make sure you follow all the classes, so that you are able to grasp what I meant. Because when you skip some of the sessions, I'm afraid that you make your own conclusion, and what I'm afraid is that you will actually come up with a wrong message. Okay, goodbye, students. I can see Hepzibah, Akid Aiman, goodbye. Alif, Amira Farisha, Xiao Wei. Is Kok Hui Ying? Sorry, is Li Hui Ying here? Okay, Hui Ying is here. Okay, goodbye, Hui Ying. All right, goodbye, everyone. Stay safe. 6 more persons here. It's okay. You're not my student. I, Nafisa. Okay, goodbye. 1, 2, 3. Let me check my students. I have all of them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. One more student. Yasmin, Yasmin, are you out there, Yasmin? Hello, Yasmin. Are you out there? I can't see your name here, Yasmin. Oh, yeah, Yasmin, I found it. Sorry, Yasmin. Okay, bye.